Thursday night in Orinda, you can catch a free opera in the park and then head a few minutes up the road for a Ukrainian quartet at Siesta Valley Bowl. That's a pretty good snapshot of what's happening around here this week. This is Lamorinda Life. I'm Rajiv, and I've pulled together a few things worth knowing about in Lafayette, Moraga, and Orinda. We have outdoor performances, a jazz legend, a classic film with a local host, and one community program that could help you be much more prepared when it matters. Let's start Thursday evening at Orinda Community Park, where Festival Opera is presenting a free outdoor version of the Elixir of Love. It's one of Donizetti's best-known comic operas, built around romance, mistaken confidence, and a supposed magic potion that is really just cheap wine. This is a condensed production, so it should be approachable even if opera isn't normally your thing. It's also free, which makes it an easy one to try with the family or a few friends. The performance begins at 6, and limited seating will be available, but bringing a blanket or lawn chair is probably the safer move. Later Thursday, DakhaBrakha takes the stage at Siesta Valley Bowl at 8. They're a Ukrainian quartet known for combining traditional folk music with rhythms and influences from around the world. Their performances are theatrical and difficult to fit into one category, which is part of the appeal. If you've been looking for something that feels genuinely different from the usual concert, this is probably the pick. Siesta Valley Bowl is also one of those venues where the setting is part of the experience. Just remember that even after a warm afternoon, the temperature can drop fairly quickly once you're sitting outside. On Friday, Present Laughter opens its outdoor run at the Orinda Community Center. This is Noel Coward's comedy about a successful actor whose personal life becomes increasingly complicated as he prepares to leave on tour. Orinda Starlight Village Players is staging the production in the outdoor amphitheater, and performances continue through August 15th. Opening night begins at 8:30, so this is a good option for anyone who enjoys live theater but wants something lighter and more relaxed than a formal indoor production. Bring a layer, settle in, and expect the kind of comedy that gets much of its energy from people behaving badly in very polished ways. Saturday night brings Stanley Clarke to Siesta Valley Bowl. Clarke is one of the most influential bassists in jazz and jazz fusion, and he's spent decades expanding what the bass can do as a lead instrument. This is the weekend's pick for serious music fans, but you don't need to know his catalog to appreciate it. It should be a strong live show in a venue that feels unusually intimate for an artist of his stature. The concert starts at 8, and the evening should be cool and clear. On Sunday afternoon, the Cinema Craft series returns to the Orinda Theater with Suddenly Last Summer. The 1959 film stars Elizabeth Taylor, Katharine Hepburn, and Montgomery Clift, with a screenplay adapted from Tennessee Williams. What makes this more than a standard repertory screening is the local presentation. Film critic Matthias Bombal introduces the movie and adds context around its production and place in film history. If you enjoy older movies but like having a little more to think about afterward, this is a good way to spend a Sunday afternoon. It starts at 1. One thing especially worth calling out this week is that registration is open for Lamorinda CERT's fall training series. CERT stands for Community Emergency Response Team, and the program teaches practical skills for earthquakes, wildfires, and other emergencies that could affect this area. The fall session begins September 15th at the Lafayette Community Center. It runs for 9 weeks and includes training in home preparedness, radio communications, fire safety, disaster medicine, light search and rescue, and pet preparedness. The registration fee is $40. Classes are open to people who live or work in Lamorinda, along with Walnut Creek residents. Teenagers between 14 and 17 can also participate with a parent, guardian, or scout leader. It is a real-time commitment, but it's useful training that could make a meaningful difference for your household and your neighbors during a disaster. A few quick hits before we wrap up. Thursday morning, Orinda Books hosts its Murder Over Easy book club at 10:30 with a discussion of Claudia Gray's Jane Austen-inspired mystery, The Murder of Mr. Wickham. On Friday at 7:30, Rock With You brings a full Michael Jackson tribute concert to the Orinda Theater. And Sunday has several more choices. The Dreamboats bring the music of the 50s and 60s to the Orinda Theater at 4, followed at 7 by a songwriter session at Hearst Farm in Lafayette and Luke Hooper's solo cabaret at Town Hall Theater. That's it for this week. Whether you choose opera in the park, an evening at the bowl, a classic film, or something else entirely, I hope you find a good reason to get out and spend a little time locally. You can find links, times, weather, and the rest of this week's calendar in the Lamorinda Life newsletter and at lamorindalife.com. Thanks for listening. I'm Rajiv, and I'll talk to you next week.